Okay, so parts have started arriving, so you can put this engine back together. We've got a timing kit has arrived, new oil filter and air filter, they'll be last to go in. The turbo cartridge has arrived and new fitting kit, CV joint for the one with the busted threads on the spline, new lower ball joint and a new clutch kit. We're really hoping the dual mass flywheel isn't also knackered, but we'll know more when we pull it apart. So after providing entertainment for the dog, we started to have a look and see what damage was done to this turbo. It needed a new cartridge. So firstly, we popped off the arm from the actuator. There's a little C-clip, I think they're called, that hold these on. It's a little bit tricky to undo, but we got there in the end. Once the C-clip's off, you can just lift off the actuator arm, and then we could start looking at the bolts for the exhaust and the inlet side of the turbo. Before I slackened any of these bolts off, I just carefully marked the position of the exhaust side to the outlet side, just to make sure when I put it back together it goes back in the same position. So now got the old turbocharger in bits. You can really see that wheel there. You can also see now there's the lever for the actuator. There's that sits on there, and then you've got the variable. This is a bit that's got the variable thing, so that actuator moves that there. To adjust, I think, those, I don't know if you see those vanes opening and closing on there. So we cleaned up this housing. That's the bit that's knackered, that's going. We've got a new one over here, so we'll be getting a shot of that. Cleaned up those for the other side, and we've also cleaned up this housing as well. It's a bit hot because I had to heat it up to get it off. So to take this one off, it was a bit tighter because there's a bit more of a facing here to seal against. So what we had to do was soak it in plus gas and then hit it at 180s with not the rubber mallet and with the hammer until you get that noise that suggests that it's broken its seal and it's ready to go. But we didn't hit on here just in case we distorted the exhaust mounting at all, but just very lightly on these consistently, and off it popped. So yeah, I'll let that cool down. Obviously that drops back in there, or got to line up with that, lining up with that little groove there. There is a seal, copper seal that goes in there as well, and Bob will hold that back together, bolt the other side on. Still got our marks, better put them on a bit better. And this little turbo fitting kit we got for this one, we've got various seals. Yeah, so you've got the exhaust seal, the new oil feed seal, new copper washers for either side the banjo bolt, the one I broke. So I'm pretty sure this one will go in this groove here, and then this one I think is the one for this here, so I might just change those now. There wasn't one in here when I took it off, so I don't know. Maybe that isn't the right one for it, but I mean, it fits perfectly. So maybe it was just missing. Well, I'll double check. So I had here the bolt on the manifold pressure sensor could be a bit of a pig to get out, and if this was in the car, you'd have no access to this back edge of the engine here. So 9 times out of 10 I think it strips the threads or leaves the threads in the manifold, and it's exactly what it did on this occasion. So I've had to re-tap it back out, cut the thread on the banjo bolt again before we put it all back together. So this is how much carbon's just come out at the end of this oil feed pipe. This goes from the engine block to the turbo. Let me just get a light on this one, see if you can see. That's kind of where it's meant to come through, and that hole in there is absolutely blocked up. I don't think I'm going to be confident reusing or trying to clean this pipe up. I think the whole length of it, or for a good way, must be blocked up. So I think we're going to have to order up another one. I had thought, like, you know, I could let some brake cleaner or something sit in there, but when all that came out at the end, I'm a bit more dubious now. Last thing I want to do is all this work and then have it finished off again. I tried hours spent on this oil feed pipeline to see if we can get it unblocked, and it's not going to happen. So I decided I got to here, see that little pen mark that way, so I know that bit's clear, and I got to about here somewhere in this one, so I chopped it in half to see what it's like. It's absolutely, you can see it in there, solid, with that black bit in the middle is just soot. Absolutely solid. Same on here. So yeah, it's, I can't believe it. This is what it comes out. Let's see if I can focus in on it this way. So you can see there. You can see how solid that is with soot. I just straight up can't believe how bad this pipe is for a car, excuse me, that's been fully serviced. It's just a mess. Yeah. Got a replacement belt and new crank pulley without the damaged rubber around there. This one's trashed. So the first one we're going to do, loosen off this tensionizer, get the whole belt off. It's not in too bad condition, feels a little bit rusty, but while we're in here, might as well replace it. So these are 4 E12s. Well, didn't think that might happen. So you can hear that rattling already. Yeah, safe to say that's busted. That away. There we go. Hopefully no more rattly crank pulley. Okay, so a few days later now, and the first thing we have to do is strip down all this on the rocker cover. So if you take out these injectors and do all these sensors and basically take everything down to the bottom of that black plastic off, That'll mean we can get the timing gear over here and put the locks on that end. Very good one. That's a really good design. Okay, let's try again. Yay. Okay, there's a first look at our cams. First look at the cams. You can see the chain guys here that we're going to be. It's just a little bit loose. So we had to get this out so we can put the cam locking tool across here, and then when we take this all apart and the gearbox off, we can get to the rest of it. It's a bit. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll rotate the engine on the crank pulley down there until these sort of flat surfaces line up, and then we can lock it. Here's our cam locking tool tucked away. I'm quickly running out of space. So this is the piece that goes across the top here. And that, so this one just turns back. Which we do with, I can get it out one-handed. This little tool goes on here, and then we need a right. Avoid. You have to put you down. I need two hands for this. Okay, so next job is to take off. I think this is the EGR cooler. And that's the EGR valve there. That's the EGR cooler. And then, is that right? Something like that, yeah. So we've got to take this whole section here off, so then we take it off from the inlet manifold there, take it out from the exhaust manifold here, and then I think that whole thing just unbolts. Now there is a coolant pipe there, that'll probably have to come off. Strange attachment, I've seen that before. Oops. So what we've got is these 8, I think they're T60 Torx bolts now in the flywheel, and you can, I think that flywheel is pretty fucked, which I was hoping it wouldn't be, but here you go. So I'm going to try and undo all of those now and get that off, and then we can actually get to the timing casing behind. So after a bit of time with the DAC again, we managed to get all the Torx bits out and remove the dual mass flywheel. That then meant we could access all the bolts on the timing case cover. So we were able to take that off. That meant loosening the sump slightly and just dropping that down. But when we checked the timing chains, there was actually nothing wrong with them. Very little slack, if any, in them. Tensionizers were all fine. The guides were all fine. So I took the decision to leave it as it is. Maybe I'll regret it. We'll find out. So here's our shiny new dual mass flywheel. It set us back about 500 quid, which we weren't expecting, but I'd rather put it in at this stage. Here's the old one, looking a little bit discoloured. It's done its job nonetheless. So these are the manufacturer torque settings for our specific dual mass flywheel. So the Torx bolts for the dual mass flywheel had a specific tightening sequence similar to that of a cylinder head. So here we are, just marking them off as we go. This is the manufacturer chart that just shows you this tightening sequence there. A little trick I saw online, which has actually worked out really well. So I'm trying to tighten these up. So it's 45 pound-foot torque on all of them, plus 45 newton meters plus 40 degrees. So they're all being nipped up now, but we had trouble actually locking the flywheel. I saw online, if you put an Allen bolt in here and then it sits against the splines there, it's just enough to lock it on the flywheel, and if you want it to do it the other way around, just spin it round if you need to loosen them off. So yeah, top little tip, that one. So when we're stripping this down, notice the ball joints on either side are pretty short. This one's got a hole in it here, so, and the same on the other side. So we've got some replacements, and now's the best time to get these off and get new ones on. One of the jobs you really have to do in this mini is get this DPF clean. So we got some off-car DPF cleaner. A lot of DPF, so I think we're just going to pour it in. Well, let's read the instructions first. Let's get it in there and see what we can do. just run through what was done. Turbo cartridge done. New oil feed pipe that's actually clear done, bolted on. New copper washers, same in there, that was all blocked up. New O-rings on the return pipe here and here. New dual mass flywheel, clutch, pressure plate in there. I felt like a lot more than that. Is that it? Oh, do you know what else you've got? New ball joints on both the hubs, and we're still waiting on the CV joint because they sent me the wrong one, which is down here. So that one is the old one. That one apparently is the one that fits, but they're talking crap because it's got more splines than that there. So you don't want to see this going back in because it will basically be the reverse of it coming out. So I'm going to do the great YouTube thing, and just next time you see this engine bay, you should, in here, in that big hole there, it should have an engine in space. Oh, the other thing we've been doing, this, flushing the DPF. So I've done it twice, there's the other stuff there. We've run 10 litres through the DPF, which is out here currently drying. It's got no fuel, so you can't at the minute.
Oh.
So it takes a while to drive all the fuel up to the engine.
Oh, but there is fuel. There is fuel, is there?
There will be fuel in the tank, see?
Oh, okay.
But it takes a while to bring it all the way up to there.
Woohoo!
There it is, yeah.
We're filming mine.
So this is where helpfully my mic dropped out, but as you can see the Mini is alive and kicking, it's driving. We had a little bit of smoke, I'm guessing from the DPF just clearing out, and a little bit of grinding from the brakes that haven't been used for a long time. But ultimately over the past few weeks my novice DIY mechanic skills and some simple tools have saved this Mini from the scrapyard. So if that's not worth a like and a subscribe, I don't know what is. There's plenty more to come on the channel. Hopefully we've got some interesting projects lined up, so if you'd like to see more, yeah, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one.